Building an in-ground pool is a big investment, which is why Viking Capital's loans are designed to spread the cost of the project over many years, so that monthly payments are affordable for your customers. Viking Capital is the preferred pool financing partner for a few important reasons. We offer financing decisions in as little as 24 hours and funding for projects as quickly as just 2 days. With loans for scores as low as 620 and no income verification options for well-qualified buyers, we also have the highest approval rates found in the swimming pool industry. A family-owned business, Viking Capital has been working shoulder to shoulder with pool builders for over 25 years. Interested in learning more about our Builder Partner Program? Visit poolloan.net for more information.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast. Today I'm chatting with Jacob Durand, owner of J&M Pool Company out of Sonoy, Georgia. J&M is a top 50 PSN award-winning pool builder and service company. You may have also seen their work featured in World's Greatest Pools. They're heavily involved in the industry and a member of organizations like PHTA, Genesis Pool Education, UAG, and many others. Pleasure to have you with us today on the show, Jacob.
Oh, thanks for having me, Joe.
Before we dive deep into our conversation today, I thought a good starting point would be just if you gave our listeners a brief introduction as to who you are, your company, the services you provide, and maybe talk a little bit about how you got started in the industry.
Yeah, so we are located in Sonoy, Georgia, a little south of Atlanta, and we got started here in 2009. I have a finance background, and when I graduated, it was right in the 2009 crash. And so having a finance degree and looking for a job was next to impossible. So I cleaned pools while I was in college, and off of that came home, was living in my parents' basement, and went out and started cleaning pools just to generate some side cash till I could find something. And as I started growing that, I really started seeing the opportunity where we could, make a career out of this. And my current business partner, who's my older brother, Mike Durand, he was living down in Florida. I'd reached out to him at the time and said, hey, I think there's a ton of opportunity with this. Why don't you come back and let's really invest our time and efforts and see where we can take it? So he came back, and I think we were just always really good at, if we saw a problem, we were going to figure out a solution for it. So when you started cleaning pools, the first issues you run across are, hey, pumps go down, filters need to be replaced. So I wasn't the one that really wanted to take on that role of doing the work. I wanted to build the brand. My expertise has always been marketing, brand development. So what I did is we hired. I tried to find the best talent in my area at that time, and we ended up recruiting our first technician. It wasn't too long before I recruited a maintenance pool cleaning manager. Off of that, I started taking on pool techs as well as pool maintenance heads. And it wasn't, you get into taking care of enough vinyl and concrete pools, before you know it, you got to change liners. And so we had to learn that. And to be honest, the first liner we ever did, I think we measured it 4 times and ordered 3 separate liners on it and told ourselves we're never going to do this again. But we overcame it, and now we probably do 100 to 150 liners a year. And off of that, same kind of deal with new construction. It was a matter of time before I got sick of saying no to the phone calls. So we hired a construction manager, expanded that business. But it always comes from necessity. Like if our clients had a problem and I didn't like the solutions that other people were offering, and we felt that we could offer a better solution, we would come in and overtake that role. And we've just been beyond blessed to be surrounded by so many good employees, a great community, and just a massive network of manufacturers, vendors, and expert resources to help us develop along the way.
So humble beginnings, definitely. But fast forward to today, you guys are working on a lot of challenging luxury pool projects where the difficulty level, the liability, the technical know-how is very high. What are some of the challenges that you've faced as you've grown your pool company to a builder of that stature and echelon?
Yeah, I would say the challenges never stop. So, and I don't expect them to ever stop. They're just going to change. When sometimes with the higher end projects, you would love for everything to just be faster. And the problem with anything higher end is speed is not necessarily the importance, or it shouldn't be. It should be the quality and the craftsmanship. And we've been heavily involved with watershed and Genesis education, but always making sure that if we were going to do something, we were going to do it right. Not because we thought it was right, but because we knew it was right because we were educated on the topic through the best in the industry. So when we do something of that high custom level, the quality is just so important to us more than the speed aspect. And a big challenge is really fine tuning and explaining to the client saying, hey, if you want something to this level, just don't expect it to be fast. But when we're done, you're going to be glad we didn't do it so quickly because you're going to love it for many years to come.
Well, there are a few different things that differentiate your pool company from a lot of others that I see. One thing on your website that I see is that you guys charge for designs, and that's something that we strongly advocate that designers really do. I mean, we've actually written articles about it in the past where, there's been companies that are advertising out there like free 3D designs, and we've been trying to impress upon designers for years how important it is to charge a premium for design services. And your company works on those luxury pool projects. Why do you think it's important to charge the customer for design services?
It's funny you bring that up just because we deal with that challenge daily. And I think the key is to really structure what you're offering. So a lot of companies that give out free designs, they're not really designing anything. They're dragging and dropping, and there's not a lot of effort going into anything unique to your backyard or something that is truly unique and designed to that individual. They just have what we call a portfolio pool that they have pre-created. They know exactly what their costs are associated with it. So they're able to push that out in volume because they've locked in and broke down all the prices to every piece of that. So if I'm doing a drag and drop option, then whatever. If you want to do that for free, who cares? Because it doesn't take you any time. But for clients who truly want something unique to them, and really want to go into the details of, hey, this pool should be a reflection of not only the canvas of my yard, but the canvas of my soul. Like I am imprinting onto this, a piece of myself. And when we do something like that, that's forever. You put that into that backyard, it is a portion of that home. And most pools don't get torn out for, I don't know, 60 to 80 years. So it'll be there a very long time. And what you do will set up that home and set up for that individual, the joy they're really going to experience from that.
Great answer. I mean, every year you guys are up for award consideration. You've had a lot of great projects featured or highlighted over the years. What's one of your favorite projects looking back at your personal highlight reel, and why?
Oh goodness, we do so many fun projects. I think that when we think outside the box more, I have one client, and on our website it's called Dugas, but when we went out there, it was just a basic free-form vinyl pool with it was built on bad soil, and half the pool was crashing into the, sinking and settling. And we only went out there to do a remodel job. And after speaking to the homeowner, we realized they didn't want to remodel. They wanted to create a whole new, living space, backyard living space for them and their family, because this was going to be their retirement home, and they were going to be there. So whenever we can go in and we have that client that really trust us and we're able to listen to them and they let us really show them the world with it, when we can incorporate fire elements, we can incorporate the furniture, we can incorporate the masonry, the pebble interiors, the landscaping, the outdoor lighting, the surround sound. When you get that full ambiance, it just really, there's no photo. And we win a lot of awards off of great photography. Jimmy Smith is, one of our photographers, and he's one of the, he is the premier pool photography guy. But you could take 1,000 photos of this pool. You could video this pool. Nothing even comes close to going out there and experiencing this pool. Because when your senses are in overload and everything is creating a positive feeling and everything looks perfect with each other. There's no image or video that's going to capture that. You have to be there in person. So that I love when a photo, I feel like, shows us a lot. But the sad thing about photography and videography is it'll never show you the true experience like if you were out there. I'd love to just take any potential client out and show them, our top 20 to 30 pools because there's nothing like it. And we try, with local people, we can do that because that's huge. When someone says, "Hey, why are you 30 or $40,000 more than your competitor?" The product is the exact same. They're so uneducated when they make a statement like that, and it's not their fault. They just don't know any better. So when we can go in and say, "Hey, I don't want to tell you anything because nothing I can tell you is going to answer this, but let me show you." And every single time we take an individual out and we show them one of our swimming pools, boom, they go, "Okay, Jacob, I get it."
I know the project you're talking about. I mean, I follow Jimmy Smith, so I know his work when he shoots pools.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about that kidney shaped pool almost, right? It's like it's got a spa at the very lip of the entry where the tanning ledge is, right?
Correct. It's got a pergola out there with an outdoor sitting area. It's got a really cool outdoor kitchen attached to the house. We've got a screened enclosure area with a custom fire pit built into it as well. The landscape and lighting, it just flows so well with the terrain on how the different tiers are, but it really shows off our masonry as well. And I don't think that really anyone in the Southeast can compete with the stonework that we're able to create in the backyard.
Nah, such a smart interpretation of a kidney shape, really. I mean, you really don't see that too often where people are going to put the spa right at the entry of the tanning ledge over there. And what I liked about that particular project was that you went right into the elevation there for the tanning area and the seating area so that you have a smart incorporation of that sheer descent that's coming out of that second elevation there. That's something that I feel like when you got to your portfolio pools, when we were talking about that before, like how builders sell the same thing again and again and again. Like the one thing that we always see is like that free form pool, insert retaining wall here. It's just hanging out there doing nothing. All right. And that's where the sheer descents come out. You really made great use of the space.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate that. And honestly, the credit goes to my brother Mike because he is our head designer and he's got a design team underneath him. And when we get the opportunity and we get those clients that really, in a sense, give him the freedom where it's not as budget, constraint, it's amazing what he can accomplish with that. And he does that while helping me manage this entire business. And we're very blessed to have so many great employees underneath us. But like any owners, you get dragged into many different aspects of operation. So distractions can hit at all times. But if he really has one great gift in this world is I would say he's one of the top designers in the nation, and that's able to do it with minimal time. So if he's able to really sit down and put his time and efforts into it, it really is amazing what he's able to create.
Nah, it's a real town and country like lifestyle piece that
Mhm.
it's a great example. Uh, it's got everything in the backyard. I mean, all the luxury features, but I mean, for the average homeowner who wants to have a backyard oasis of this nature, I mean, financing definitely comes into play at some point in the game. You know, how are you going to finance your backyard dream? I mean, how important of an aspect is that in the projects that you guys work on?
Yeah, financing is huge for us for a number of reasons. Not everybody is going to have, anywhere from 80 to $250,000 just freely disposable to spend on a swimming pool. So what they need to do is they want to break that up into a monthly payment. And we've had an awesome partner in Viking Capital. They've been able to come in and really, and Jane and Greg are the owners and help us with those clients that even if it's adding on, they're not financing the entire pool project. They can come in and serve as a reflection of us with the same kind of quality for that client to help them through that financing side, which allows us to have much larger projects than we would have. And I know there's a lot of different financing options out there, but the issue that we find is sometimes with people that are purchasing pools, it can be very complicated on how you make your income. Even myself, when I go to make a purchase, when I'm going to finances as business owners, any form of lender hates business owners because how we pay ourselves, how things work is extremely complex. And I can say that Viking is better dealing with those individuals than anyone else I've dealt with. And people whose credit who isn't as strong, they've been able to get loans approved all the way down to, I want to say 600, 690 credit scores,
Wow.
which we are not seeing that from our other vendors. And we do offer other vendors, we leave it up to the client as far as which route they're going to go. But it seems like with Viking, there's always a plan for everybody and they walk them through it and they're extremely fast at getting that individual funded. And for us, speed is important. Now, with the highest credit score, are they going to be the most competitive? Not always, and that's why we leave it up to the option of the client themselves. But for everything in the middle, they are fast, they're effective, their communication is awesome. And if I have any issue or my client has any issue, they can reach out to either of them very quickly, and a great reflection of us. We hope we're a good reflection of them as well.
Where you build in Sonoya, that's about a half hour outside of Atlanta, like you said. There's a real sharp uptick in pool projects that happened over there during the height of COVID. And I think the term everybody was tossing around over the past few years was unprecedented demand.
Mhm.
Did you guys experience during that time frame? And have things equalized a bit since then, or is demand still white hot in your market?
It slowed down for sure. So COVID allowed us and forced us to expand fairly rapidly. And we, I spoke about this before that when we're presented with a problem, we're gonna figure out the solution. And at that time, it was rapid growth. We have this many leads coming in. We got a hell of a lot better as far as vetting those leads and creating a structure to make sure that they were good leads before we went out. We also had to increase the size of our sales force so we could actually get people out. We had to increase the size of our number of project managers as well as our site supervisors. So everything was forced to rapidly expand, which had its benefits as far as volume went, but it had its struggles because I don't want to say we were ever losing control, but we were forced to let things slide that we would normally be a hell of a lot more strict on. So we knew that wasn't going to last forever, and thank goodness it didn't. But as we saw things slow down, and really, I mean, we saw things the second half of 2023, we saw them slow down pretty dramatically. Because the other thing that happened is our area, just like you said, you saw that uptick in pool construction in our area, which I'm sure was all over the nation. But you had a lot of pool builders come in. So in a sense, the market became oversaturated with pool builders, pool cleaners, as well as techs. Every franchise showed up at that time. So people were kind of really throwing out poor quality work, which benefited us because so many people got hurt during that time, and got really screwed by builders or by service companies. We were able to come in during that slowdown and trim a lot of fat from our company. Anyone who didn't meet the standards that we expect out of the J&M brand, we were able to let them go and then really strengthen the core. And now we're at the phase just over the last 2 months that the fruits of that labor are really starting to present themselves. So now that we have such a strong core, we're growing off of that, and the community is embracing it, and they're supporting us, and they appreciate the quality that we're delivering.
No, you got
So
you got a big staff over there. A lot of people responsible for keeping that J&M engine running. Are
that's
there
right.
any people that you'd like to single out and give a shout out to on this podcast?
Oh goodness, I mean, three in particular, probably actually four or five. So, Judd Wilson, he runs my construction department. Tyler Cole and Joey underneath him, which are just, I mean, it's the best team that, oh God, goodness, on a foursome side, they just crush it. My maintenance staff, Rich Gutierrez, he's been with me from the start. So he oversees, over 500 pools a week with a staff of 14 to 15 individuals, him and Jared. So very impressive on that end as well. My service tech, my lead tech is Bob Smith. He's been with me from the start as well. And he's dragged me out of so many stressful situations where I could not figure out a solution on a technical side. And you send him out there and it's a matter of time before it's resolved. And having that is just a blessing. Then, of course, my office staff, Ryan, Patricia, Samantha, as well as Melissa. Melissa runs my sales and marketing team. And then Patrick's been my longest term sales rep. He actually started as a pool cleaner and now he sells anywhere from 3 to 5 million a year. So to grow through the ranks of the company and get to a point where to be very financially satisfied and still have plenty of room for growth is just that's what I want to see out of my people. I want to see them continue to grow. I don't want them comfortable with where they're at. I want them to want more. And I want to be the person to be able to provide them more within so they don't have to look elsewhere for it.
Well, you guys have built an incredible organization over there and a body of work that truly stands out in our industry. And we'll be highlighting some of your work in the next issue of Pool Magazine. Jacob, thanks so much for taking the time out of your schedule today to connect with us and talk shop. Appreciate having you on the show.
I appreciate it, Joe. It was a pleasure.
Well, that's all the time we have left today. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and we'll catch you next time on another episode of Pool Magazine Podcast.
Building an in-ground pool is a big investment, which is why Viking Capital's loans are designed to spread the cost of the project over many years, so that monthly payments are affordable for your customers. Viking Capital is the preferred pool financing partner for a few important reasons. We offer financing decisions in as little as 24 hours and funding for projects as quickly as just 2 days. With loans for scores as low as 620 and no income verification options for well-qualified buyers, we also have the highest approval rates found in the swimming pool industry. A family-owned business, Viking Capital has been working shoulder to shoulder with pool builders for over 25 years. Interested in learning more about our Builder Partner Program? Visit poolloan.net for more information.